It's been a very up and down season so far for our Miami Marlins, to put it nicely, as season number 6 has not exactly gone the way we would have hoped through the first quarter or so of the season. We have definitely had some losing stretches this year. We are figuring some things out as a team here in the month of May, and so far we've gotten off to a good start this month. But we've had our struggles. We went on a 10-game losing streak to wrap up the month of April. But here in May, things seem to be going pretty well. Within our first 4 series, 2 of them had ended up in sweeps, and we won another one against the Reds. In this last game, you'll notice that Emmanuel Clase blew a save, and he only faced off against 2 batters, allowing a hit and a walk. The rule is that you have to face off against 3 batters before you're taken out of the game. So why exactly did he only see 2? It's because he broke his wrist and is going to go on the 60-day IL. This obviously sucks. We signed Clase to a big 4-year, $54 million deal in the offseason. He's blown 5 saves already, but overall he's done pretty well. He's only allowed 3 earned runs. Statistically, he's had a bad season for his standards, but has still played at an all-star level, and he's going to be out presumably until the trade deadline or so. We're going to need a replacement in the bullpen, and I think there's an easy choice with Joe Shearer, who's had a fantastic season in AAA. He has Major League experience over the last 2 years, and he's been pretty good. ERA in his career is a little bit above 3. Not a super small sample size. He has over a year of MLB service time, so he's going to slide into the bullpen. But overall, I do have some questions about this team, and we do have some guys individually playing really well. Isaac Stew's had a slow start to the month of May, but he is still the NL MVP frontrunner. Other guys like Jazz Chisholm, Woody Landry, even the rookie Adael Amador, they're producing. And other young guys like Khalil Watson and Kevin Alcantara have really taken a jump up after starting slow. But other veterans like Brian De La Cruz, Alec Bohm, they've kind of struggled a little bit. Within the rotation, obviously Edward Cabrera has been great, but we need more from Casey Mize and Luis Severino, while the bullpen's been just an utter disaster. Those guys have to pick it up. So currently we're in 4th place. We're only 3 games back of first in the NL East, and it seems like all the good teams are in the West. The Dodgers, Giants, and Padres are the 3 best teams in the conference. There's more teams ahead of us in the wild card race than behind us, but I don't want to worry about it too much. It is still the middle of May, and we are playing better over the last 2 weeks. Hopefully we can keep it going here. We've got some pretty tough series, in particular the Giants and the Padres, who I just mentioned are 2 of the better teams in the NL. So I definitely want to take a look at a couple of those games. Let's simulate through this 3-game set at home against the Washington Nationals, who are not very good. Brian De La Cruz, ACL sprain, will be out for a week or 2. I saw ACL and got nervous. Thankfully, it's only a sprain. So we're going to call up James Wood to replace him. Wood has been pretty good so far in AAA. He's been with the big league team a little bit this year, and he started 0 for 8, but he has hits in his last 5 at-bats, including a home run, which we got with him in-game a couple episodes ago at Citizens Bank Park against the Phillies. We would end up sweeping the Nationals, so we're back over 500. We had 3 sweeps here in the month of May. We're still 4th place in the division, but we're only a game and a half out of first place and a game and a half out of the wild card spot. So now I want to take a look at this series against the Giants, who have been very solid this year. They've got a handful of guys performing really well. They have 3 players in the top 6 in terms of WAR in the National League. And it's a revenge game for MJ Melendez. And oftentimes when a player leaves a team, we call it a revenge game, although there's really no bad blood between said player and team. That's not the case here with MJ, because he only played half of the games last year, and it's not because he got hurt. It's because they had Tyler Stevenson, who's a really good catcher. Melendez was ridiculously good last year. Had he played the whole season, he would have been on pace to have a WAR around 10.5. That would have been one of the greatest seasons of the last 20 to 30 years of any individual player. He would have easily won the MVP, which I guess for us it's a good thing he didn't, because Edward Cabrera got it. And even though Tyler Stevenson, you could argue, is a better player than him, Melendez can also play the corner outfield spots, and there's literally a DH available. So I think MJ Melendez has every right to want revenge against the San Francisco Giants, and I'm hoping that he's going to have a big start to this series. And that starts here in this first game. I picked out this matchup in particular because I wanted to pitch with Gennaro Miller. We just called him up, and we're going to have him in the lineup. Isaac Stu will not start today. I want to give him a little breather. He's played every game this season, but we will likely sub him in probably in the middle of the game. Mason Black will get the start here for San Francisco. 3-2, 5.15 ERA, 1.26 whip for the righty. He's been okay. I mean, he hasn't been, bad, but he hasn't exactly been good either. The rookie, Ariel Amador, starts things off with a walk. He's had a fantastic season, but I think the one thing he needs to improve on is his plate discipline, so it's good seeing it there. That'll bring up Woody Landry hitting in the 2-hole today. Swings and misses on the slider. Good pitch by Mason Black. Gennaro Miller is hitting cleanup. Along with pitching, he's hitting in the 4-hole in the lineup. Interesting strategy as he grounds it to short. The former Marlin, Jordan Groshans, who's having a good season here with the Giants, flips it over to second, and San Francisco gets out of the inning. So Gennaro Miller just grounded out, and now he will go on the mound to pitch. Miller's had a great season so far at the plate. On the mound, he started off a little slower. 2 starts, he has a 4.5 ERA and a 1.7 whip, getting the no decision in both outings. Here against Josh Rojas, he allows a 5-pitch walk, and so the Giants get an early base runner. 2 away for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He singles it into center field. I think part of the reason why Miller has been up and down through his first couple starts is that he's allowing too many base runners, and sure enough, he allows 2 here. And Taylor Ward's going to look to drive him in. He rips this one right into Triple's alley, and you got to assume he's going to be thinking 3. It rolls all the way to the back corner, and it does end up being a triple. That'll score 2, and the Giants lead it 2-0. Ward placed that ball perfectly to make it over to third base. Jordan Walker with a grounder to first. Landry scoops it up, tags the base. But the Giants get things started with a 2-run triple for Taylor Ward as we move into the second. 1 away here for Jacob Berry. He lines this one into left field for a hit. Berry has basically taken over as the regular third baseman over Alec Bohm. Bohm has had a bad season. He's hitting around 180. His WAR is already at -1. He's been a train wreck, to put it nicely. MJ Melendez, the former Giant, draws a walk, and so the Marlins get 2 runners on once again. We'll see if they can capitalize this time, as that will bring up Kevin Alcantara, who's played very well over the last few weeks after a slow start to the year. That pitch looks like a strike, but they're going to call it a ball, and so the at-bat will stay alive. Count is full now for Kevin Alcantara. And again, that pitch was in the zone, but they call it a ball. The bases are now loaded, which means the inning is over. Somebody should tell James Wood, since he's a little bit newer. And I don't think he got the memo! A grand slam for James Wood into right center field, and the Marlins take a 4-2 lead here in the top of the second inning. A big swing for Wood, his second homer of the season, and Miami is ahead by a pair. What a play here for James Wood. Obviously, we struggle with the bases loaded. It's no secret. Even the rare times we do score, we never get more than 1 or 2. How many times have we gotten a grand slam in-game this series? It feels like it hasn't happened more than 3 or 4 times. Certainly not recently. And that ball didn't just go over the fence. That ball was crushed. 430 feet, 112 off the bat. In case you're wondering if it went into McCovey Cove, it one-hops off the concourse and splashes into the water. I don't think that counts as a splash shot, but yes, it did go in the water. Bottom 2, Matt Chapman draws a walk, and the Giants get a base runner here. Both pitchers have struggled with the walks early. Here's a grounder from Mason Auer over to second, and the Marlins turn 2 and get the double play. It remains 4-2 as we go into the third. Jazz Chisholm leads things off for Miami, and he hits this ball high and deep into left center. Back at the track, at the wall, it's gone! A solo home run for Jazz Chisholm, and Miami adds to their lead. It's now 5-2. That's Jazz's 15th homer of the season. He passes Isaac Stu for sole possession in terms of the most home runs on the team. Obviously, Stu has gotten a lot of the attention, but Jazz Chisholm's quietly having as good of a season. He's currently in second for the NL MVP, right behind Stu, and obviously he brings much more of a defensive impact. Here's Jacob Berry up the middle. It's going to be a tough play here at short for Groshans, and the throw is not in time. An infield single for Jacob Berry. He starts the game 2 for 2. And the Marlins have a base runner. That will bring up MJ Melendez, who drew a walk in his last at-bat in his first game back at Oracle Park. He rips this ball into the gap. That one's going to drop. It one-hops off the wall. Berry will hold up at third, and so there's 2 runners in scoring position. Quite a big opportunity here for the center fielder, Kevin Alcantara, who's behind 1 and 2, and he goes down looking. That was the perfect pitch. I think he thought it was going to be inside, not really expecting a slider, but he thought wrong. Nonetheless, the Marlins do add a run as Jazz Chisholm sends that ball over the fence, and it's now 5-2 as we go bottom 3. Tyler Stevenson draws a walk. Both pitchers have thrown 3 walks already today. Got to keep it in the strike zone, guys. With 2 away, Guerrero grounds it to short. Adael Amador fields it cleanly. Throw to first is in time. Solid inning for Gennaro Miller as we move into the 4th. The Giants, unsurprisingly, make a pitching change. Mason Black really struggled today. He'll be replaced by Will Bednar, a former first-round pick out of Mississippi State, who hasn't really been able to put it all together with the Giants. Here's James Wood, bloops this one into left, and that's going to drop. After starting the season 0 for 8, Wood has a base hit in his last 7 at-bats. In case you're wondering, the all-time record for most consecutive at-bats with a hit is 12. Jazz Chisholm rips this one into the gap, and it is caught by Edsel Escobedo. So the Giants don't allow any more runs, and we go bottom 4. Here is Taylor Ward, strikes out after driving in 2 his last at-bat. And Jordan Groshans goes down on the changeup. 1-2-3 inning for Gennaro Miller, who has not allowed a run since the first inning. Other than the first inning, I think he's been quite good. Miller's going to be subbed out, offensively at least, for Isaac Stu, who strikes out. Miller can still pitch, however, keep in mind, but he will not make any more at-bats today. Jacob Berry rips this one into the gap. He's 3 for 3. Berry on his high horse, thinking 2, and he makes it to second base with a double. A big start here for Jacob Berry, who already has 3 hits in the early going. We'll see if MJ Melendez can tie him in. He's reached base twice already, and he pops this one up. That was the pitch, too, and I think he mistimed it a little bit. Kind of got at it early, and it is caught in foul territory by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Bottom 5, it's Matt Chapman. He strikes out on the curveball. Good pitch by Gennaro Miller. Presumably this could be his last inning, although he is really pitching well right now as he strikes out Mason Aurer for the second out. Here's Edsel Escobedo at the top of the order. He draws a walk. Escobedo's really fast, keep in mind, but it won't matter as Rojas grounds it to Landry, tags the base. Overall, a pretty solid start for Gennaro Miller. He started slowly, but over the last few innings, he's pitched really well. I would presume the Marlins go to the bullpen for the rest of this one. As we go into the 6th inning, James Wood skies this one high and kind of deep into left field. Not really. His streak is over. 7 consecutive at-bats with a hit. If you thought he was going to get to 12, I think you were overly optimistic for him. Here's Adael Amador off the wall in right center, and that'll go for a double. Speaking of streaks, our impressive rookie is now on a 17-game hitting streak. An awfully remarkable feat for Adael Amador, who continues to have a phenomenal rookie season. Woody Landry's up now looking to drive him in, and he doesn't because he draws a walk. 2 on, 2 away. Big opportunity for Jazz Chisholm, who homered earlier. And Chisholm crushes this ball into the right center gap, right into Triple's alley. And Jazz Chisholm's got some wheels. You know he's thinking 3. It's a 2-run double for Jazz Chisholm. And the Marlins lead 7-2. I've got to say, it feels satisfying hitting the ball in that area of the field. It must be fun to play at this park super often. Into the bottom of the 6th, let's take a look at Joe Shearer making his first big league appearance of the season. Last year in 24 innings, he was up and down as he starts by allowing a walk to Tyler Stevenson. With 1 away, Ward grounds it to short. Amador to Chisholm to Landry. 6-4-3 double play. That'll wrap up the inning. Good job by Joe Shearer in his first big league inning of the season. As we go top 7, 7-2 remains your score. Jacob Berry's 3 for 3 today. Let's keep it rolling. Going to be a close play here as the throw from third is in time. They got him. Nice play there at the hot corner. Now the Marlins are going to challenge this, not so much because they thought he was safe, but more so because we can't use the challenge after the 7th inning. So we might as well. And as we look at the replay, He actually was safe. His foot hits the bag before the ball is in Guerrero's glove. The call would be reversed, and Jacob Berry is now 4 for 4. MJ Melendez goes down looking. He thought about that pitch, decides not to take it, and it backfires as the Marlins would not get Berry to score. Bottom 7, Andres Vina in the game. He can go multiple innings, and I'm sure the Marlins are kind of hoping he can take them the rest of the way. Jordan Groshans singles into left field. That's the first hit today for the Giants since the first inning. It's been a while since they've gotten hits. They have plenty of walks, but not many hits. And here's their second base hit since the first inning. A 2-out single down the line from Mason Auer. 2 on, 2 away for Escobedo. He draws his second consecutive walk, and that means the bases are loaded. Josh Rojas flies it into left. Wood is under it. He makes the play. It feels weird that the bases have been loaded twice today. When it was for us, we hit a grand slam, and when it is for them, they do nothing. I enjoy being on the opposite side of this. The veteran lefty Taylor Rogers is in here in the top of the 8th. He's been with the Giants for a while. In his 7th season with the team, 36 years old, as Woody Landry sends this one into the opposite field for a base hit. With 2 away, the Marlins get a runner on here. And so that'll bring up Jazz Chisholm, who is a homer and a triple today. He's been awfully productive, driving in 3 runs. Woody Landry will look to steal second. Throw from Stevenson is in time, and a great tag at short by Groshans, placing it perfectly right as Woody was sliding. Bottom 8, Guerrero with a high fly ball into left field. That baby's out of here, and the Giants cut the lead to 4. Solo home run for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., his 13th of the year. The Marlins were hoping Vina would take him the rest of the way, and it looks like that will not be the case as he's kind of struggled. He's allowed more hits than the Marlins did through the first 6 innings combined. The former Giant, Camilo Duvall, is into the game. In 11 1/3 innings this year, he has not allowed a run. He's been fantastic as he strikes out Taylor Ward. Let's go top 9. Jazz Chisholm back up, rips it into right field. It goes off the wall. Chisholm's going to make it to second with a double. Jazz Chisholm has a homer, a triple, and a double today. If only he got the single, he would have gotten the cycle. So Chisholm is in scoring position. We'll see if the Marlins can bring him in. Look to add to the lead. That ball was a rocket off his bat, by the way. I didn't check the exit velo, but that had to have been at least like 110. Here's Jesus Sanchez. He launches a rocket into right. It will go off the very top of the wall, just barely staying in the park. Sanchez is safe at second. Jazz scores, and it's 8-3. Another rocket, this time from Sanchez, who's hit lefties really well this year, and that'll knock the lefty, Taylor Rogers, out of the game. He'll be replaced by another lefty, Josh Fleming. MJ Melendez rips it down the line. That'll score Sanchez. It's an RBI single for the former San Francisco Giant, MJ Melendez, making it 9-3. Duvall still in the game here in the bottom of the 9th as he strikes out Edsel Escobedo on the cutter. The Marlins win Game 1 of a 3-game set here at Oracle Park. 9-3, your final score. All around, a really good win. We hit the ball well. We pitched well. The defense was good, which is a surprise because our defense is 28th this year in fielding percentage and 3rd in errors. So I'll take all the clean defensive games I can get. Notable performers offensively include James Wood, 2 for 3 of the Grand Slam. Jazz Chisholm, 3 for 5. Homer, triple, double, drove in 3. Gennaro Miller, I thought, had a pretty good start, and the bullpen, other than Andres Vina, closed the door. Only 3 runs and 6 hits for the Giants, while their pitching was just not good. And with that, our Marlins have won 6 in a row. We're playing quite well. Now, we do have a challenging stretch coming up with the Giants, Rockies, and Angels. That's 9 consecutive games, all on the West Coast. I would understand if we only won 4 or 5 of these, with all of them being on the road on the other side of the country. And the Giants and Angels are both pretty good. Speaking of the Angels, they're going to give us a trade offer. James Wood for Nick Madrigal. Madrigal does hit lefties well. He's the type of player we could use. Not for James Wood, though. I really like his long-term potential. Brian De La Cruz is back healthy, and I really don't want to send down James Wood. But the other options are Alcantara and Khalil Watson, and both of those guys have had really good months in May, and both of them would require us to use a minor league option. So during the 9 games we simulated, we do end up going 4-5, which, as I said, is kind of expectable. We had some good performances, including a complete game shutout for Casey Mize. And then this last game, we won 11-1. The offense exploded, and Tyrell Berry went the entire way. I don't know why we kept Berry in the whole time when we were up by so much, but I guess I'll take it. We're now 28-26, as that'll bring us into this series against the Padres. We're going to simulate these first 2 games. I want to pitch with Casey Mize again and hop into the last one. So during our simulation, we lost both of them, including this 10-2 loss. Edward Cabrera pitched a really bad game. That's the first bad Cabrera start I can think of in a while. He has not pitched that poorly since Lord knows when. So we've lost the first 2 games of the series, and we are in danger of getting swept. That would not be ideal, as we have fallen back to 500 at 28-28. We don't want to go back under. It's not fun being down there. So hopefully we can get the win here, although it's going to be a challenge. The Padres just rocked the best pitcher in baseball, and they have Dylan Cease on the mound, who's really good. Here's a look at both lineups. Regular starters for the most part for Miami, as we will take a look at Casey Mize, who started the year off slowly, but here in the month of May, I feel like he's really gotten comfortable. Sometimes it takes players a little bit to get acclimated to a new team, and I think that's been the case with Mize, who's pitched really well over his last 4 or 5 starts. He strikes out Xander Bogaerts in the midst of a $300 million contract. That deal is looking like a disaster for San Diego. Steven Kwan rips this one into right, and Sanchez chases after it. He comes down with it. Good grab by Jesus Sanchez as we go bottom of the first inning. Dylan Cease getting the start for the Padres. He's currently in year 3 of a 6-year deal, and so far he has been fantastic every season with the Padres. The highest his ERA has been is like 2.6. He'll face off against Isaac Stu with 2 away, who draws a walk. Stu definitely was not as good in the month of May as he was in April, but he is still the MVP frontrunner. That's how good he was to start the year. Woody Landry draws a walk, so Dylan Cease gives the Marlins 2 3-runners and an opportunity here for Jesus Sanchez, who's hitting over 300, hitting for great contact, but he only has 6 home runs as he swings and misses at the changeup. He swung way too early there, got a little bit excited. He saw a meatball right down the middle and wanted to crush it, and unfortunately he just completely mistimes it. Top 2. Fernando Tatis Jr. strikes out. Good pitch by Mize. 2 away for Christian Walker. Grounder to third. Good play by Jacob Berry. The throw to first is in time. 2 perfect innings so far for Casey Mize. He's looking good. Bottom 2. Jacob Berry with a liner into right center. And that one will float over into the Padres bullpen. A solo home run for Jacob Berry. That is number 6 on the year for the former LSU Tiger. And the Marlins lead it 1-0. Overall, I think Berry's had a pretty solid season. He's definitely been better than Alec Bohm, which isn't a very high bar. But overall, he's been pretty good, and he's earned pretty much full-time starting reps. MJ Melendez strikes out. Good pitch by Cease, looking to get back into a groove as we go top 3. The catcher, Samuel Zavala, grounds it to first. Stu makes the play. That's 3 perfect innings for Casey Mize, who makes 1 full trip through the order and retires the side. Bottom 3, here's Ariel Amador. Rips this one into right field for a hit. If you're wondering, unfortunately, Amador's hit streak is no longer intact. But hey, we can start a new one, right? Here's number 1. Here is Isaac Stu. 115 off the bat, right to second for a double play. Isaac Stu just got unlucky there. He hit the ball really well, but the second baseman was at the right play at the right time. Top 4, C.J. Papadakis gets that one past the glove of Mize. Amador looks to make the play. He cannot. Papadakis is safe at first, and the Padres get their first base runner of the game with an infield single. It doesn't look like they'll keep said base runner, as the Marlins will turn 2, courteous of Khalil Watson, Ariel Amador, and Isaac Stu, the 3 young infielders making the play. Bottom 4, 2 away for Jacob Berry, the only source of runs for either team today. And he goes down looking on the fastball. That was a good pitch to hit. I think he thought it was a little low, but in hindsight, it definitely was not. Top 5, Fernando Tatis rips this one into the right center gap. It'll roll all the way to the wall. and Tatis makes it to second with a double. He's very fast. Got to watch out for the threat of his speed, as that will bring you up his all-star teammate, Manny Machado, who goes down looking on the slider. That pitch was severely mislocated. That was supposed to be outside. Instead, it was inside, but it does the job. Tatis looks for third. He is safe, despite a rocket from home plate by MJ Melendez. That means that this ball's put in play, Tatis should score, and that's exactly what happens. Sharp grounded to first by Walker. Tatis scores, and the game is tied at 1. Eric Haas is up here for San Diego. He strikes out on the curveball, and so Mize gets through the 5th, but not before the Padres tie the game, courteous of a double, a stolen base, and a run by Fernando Tatis Jr., one of the most exciting players in the game. MJ Melendez draws a walk, and the Marlins lead off the bottom of the 5th with a base runner. Brian De La Cruz is up now, full count. He goes down looking. Good to have De La Cruz healthy. I feel like the timing of his injury kind of sucked, because De La Cruz started the year off slowly and then was playing really well before he got hurt. Ariel Amador, the grounder to third. Machado flips it over to second, and the Padres make the play. Dylan Cease is having himself a great day, only allowing 1 run in 5 innings. Top 6, here's David Hensley, the second baseman. Gets that one by Sanchez in right field for a leadoff double. The Padres with a runner in scoring position to open up the inning. We'll see if they can potentially look to move him in. Papadakis sends this one down the line, and fair. The Padres are going to take the lead as Papadakis is aboard at second with a double. And so San Diego now has another runner in scoring position, and they're winning. Bogarts into center, going to be a close play, and Chisholm cannot make the grab. Another hit for San Diego. They've got runners on the corners. This could get ugly if the Marlins don't, figure it out. Stephen Kwan rips it into the left field, all the way to the wall. It scores another run. Bogarts looks to score. The throw from Amador is in time. They got him. Good defense by the Marlins. San Diego does add another run there, and it's 3-1 off of the Stephen Kwan double. Casey Mize is going to get yanked. He has completely lost it. And it's time for Paul Sewald to pitch as he forces a pop-up from Tatis. San Diego gets 2, though, and they lead it 3-1. The Padres will make a surprisingly early pitching change. I feel like this is too early to take out Cease. He'll be replaced by the lefty, Darwinzion Hernandez. If nothing else, the Padres are getting a lefty in because there's a lot of lefties due up, so in that sense, I get it. Jazz Chisholm strikes out looking, so does Woody Landry. Good inning for Darwinzion Hernandez as we go top 7. Eric Haas swings and misses on the slider. Good pitch by Paul Sewald. He retires to side quickly. Into the bottom of the 7th now. Brian Baker is into the game for San Diego. 4.09 ERA in 22 innings. He's been serviceable this season. He'll face off against Jesus Sanchez, off to a quiet start, 0-for-2. And he swings and misses at the fastball. That one was up and away. Good pitch by Baker. Jacob Berry up now with 1 out. He rips this one into left field for a hit. Jacob Berry's had quite the episode today. 4 hits against the Giants. In this game, he has 2, including a dinger. MJ Melendez draws a walk. Here's the Marlins' opportunity to get some offense going, and it will be against the new pitcher, the flame-throwing righty, James Karinchak. Don't ask him what he was doing on January 6th. But nonetheless, he has had kind of a rough season. We'll see if he can get out of this jam for the Padres as he gets a big strikeout on Brian De La Cruz. Huge at bat here now for the young second baseman, Khalil Watson, who's behind 1-2. Ooh, that's a tough one, but it's called a ball. Count is now 2-2 for the rookie, who's had a great month of May, and he grounds this one over to short. Bogarts flips it to second, and the San Diego Padres get out of the inning, leaving 2 on as we go top 8. Camilo Doval is in for the Marlins. He's allowed 1 run since we last saw him in action. He strikes out David Hensley on the sinker. Nice pitch. That'll bring up Samuel Zavala. Goes down on the slider. Doval's stuff is just so filthy. I don't know how you're supposed to hit it. Bottom 8, the lefty, Ryan Weathers. Former Guardians franchise pitcher is into the game. He's having a nice year, 2.25 ERA. Unlike the Guardians franchise, he doesn't have that nice head of hair, unfortunately. Ariel Amador leads things off with the top of the order, and he strikes out on the high fastball. Good pitch there by Weathers to get the first out. 2 gone now and a full count for Isaac Stu. He launches this one into the opposite field. That baby's out of here. And the Marlins cut the lead in half to 1. Big play for Isaac Stu. The player of the month of the National League in April. Looks to get started off strong here on the 1st of June. Stu sends that one over, and it's now 3-2. Can the Marlins add another one this inning? No, they don't, as Woody Landry strikes out. They do add one, though, and they're only down by 1 going into the 9th. Reynaldo Lopez is going to come into the game. He had a really rough month of April, but in the month of May, he played a lot better. It's good to see him pitching like the guy that we know he is, as he gets Xander Bogaerts out on the circle change to start things off. 2 away for Tatis. Hits it well into center, but it is caught by Jazz Chisholm. The Marlins need 1 and only 1 run here in the bottom of the 9th to tie it. It'll be against the closer, Adrian Morejon, with the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up. Now, Morejon's numbers don't look all that good. He did win the NL's Pitcher of the Month for May. I don't really get the explanation. To be fair, I also didn't look at his numbers just for May, but just based off of that, I mean, 4.5 ERA as a closer, not ideal. He's making quick work of this inning, though, as he strikes out Berry. Marlins down to their final out, make it their final strike. It's MJ Melendez, the 2-2. Got him looking! Morejon strikes out the side as the San Diego Padres complete the sweep. On the Miami Marlins, they win it 3-2, and the Fish fall back under 500 at 28-29. Not ideal for the MLB's leader in wins a season ago. San Diego only had 6 hits and 3 runs, but that was enough. Dylan Cease pitched really well. The bullpen pitched really well. Our offense was just asleep at the wheel today. Jacob Berry was pretty good. He had 2 hits, including a homer. Isaac Stu went deep as well. He also had an additional walk. Everybody else sucked balls, though, to put it nicely. And the pitching, they were really good. Casey Mize was good for most of the game. The bullpen didn't allow a single runner. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter because 7 of our 9 position players decided not to show up. So with that, we fall under 500, but we do have kind of an easier stretch coming up. Home against the A's, home against the Royals, on the road against the White Sox. These 3 teams are not as bad as they are in real life, but they're still not good, per se. Brett Martin is back healthy, our veteran reliever who we signed in the offseason. We're going to send Andres Vina down to AAA. And would you check this out? We went 8-1 during the simulation with a handful of blowouts. We won this game 13-1, even though Gennaro Miller got banged up and couldn't throw 2 innings. Luckily, he's fine. This game, we won 12-1. How about this game? We won 10-3 with an Edward Cabrera masterclass. Cabrera's picked up right where he left off after that bad start against San Diego. We don't really make up much ground in the division. We're still in 3rd, but we're only a game out of 1st place. We're only half a game out of a wild card spot. And our schedule really isn't that hard. We don't play a team over 500 until the end of the month against Boston. So hopefully we can keep it rolling, and maybe it looks like the Marlins are back. Or is this just another long streak in what has been a very streaky start to the season so far? Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.